New South Wales Government's COVID committee is meeting this morning to consider changes to elective surgery and a reintroduction of restrictions for hospitality. Kenny Heatley is at State Parliament. Kenny, what is being considered?
Good morning, Danica. Well, if you picked up the Sydney Morning Herald front page this morning, you'd have a bit of COVID deja vu, and it would be a significant about-face from a Premier known as the Premier that wants to open up business and it wants to live with COVID. According to this SMH article, they spoke to an anonymous government source that did not have the authority to speak publicly on this. But the problem is that we've got 70,000 cases in 2 days. We've got more people entering hospitals, 1,609 in hospital. That was the number yesterday. The new numbers will come out at 9, and 131 in ICU. Those are rising. So you've got more people entering hospital. But the other problem is you've got more staff that are furloughed. So 3,800 health staff are furloughed in New South Wales. That was the figure on Wednesday. That's up from 2,200 from the prior week, and that's because of COVID exposure. So there's significant pressure on hospitals at the moment, and according to the Sydney Morning Herald, the government is meeting right now. The committee, formerly known as Crisis Cabinet, is meeting from 8 a.m, considering a range of measures such as the pausing of elective surgery and also a reintroduction of restrictions on the hospitality industry, including the closing of all nightclubs, no singing or dancing allowed in pubs, drinking while standing, or what's known as vertical consumption, strongly discouraged or even banned, and the pausing of some major events or the risk assessment of some major events. Here's what Dominic Perrottet, the Premier, had to say on Sydney radio about elective surgery yesterday.
Our number one focus is ensuring we keep people safe, that our hospital system remains strong. As we're in a pandemic, there's clearly going to be pressure on our health system. All our frontline staff, our health staff, are doing an incredible job in keeping people safe. At the moment, the system is strong. We believe we will be certainly getting through this, but we'll need to make some changes. I would expect on elective surgery, and I would also expect in terms of our work with the private health system in managing as we go through these increases of cases.
Now, Danica, Sky News has contacted the Premier's office this morning to confirm these details. We're expecting to know by the end of the day whether any changes will be made.
And Kenny, no word yet as to whether New South Wales residents will be reporting positive rapid antigen test results to be included in official New South Wales Health COVID numbers similar to Victoria.
That's right. Well, here on Macquarie Street, there's been a long line of a couple of 100 metres for a few weeks. That line for that testing clinic across the road here on Macquarie Street is no more. There's no one lining up at the moment. And this follows the National Cabinet decision on Wednesday that you no longer need to confirm symptoms or a positive rapid antigen test with a PCR test. Now, this is reducing a significant strain on those PCR testing clinics, but the question remains, how is New South Wales Health going to know how much COVID is circulating in the community? And we just heard before about Victoria's decision to make it a requirement to report those positive rapid antigen tests. No word from the New South Wales Government on this yet, and still on the New South Wales Government website, it says there is no requirement to formally report the result of a positive rapid antigen test to New South Wales Health. Only PCR test results are collected and reported by New South Wales Health. How would this work as well? Would you report it through Service New South Wales? And would you need to report a negative rapid antigen test as well so they know how many cases from how many tests? The opposition leader, Chris Minns, wrote on Twitter, positive rapid antigen tests should be counted by the New South Wales Government. We know that infections will continue to rise in the community, but tracking these rats will ensure New South Wales Health have the critical information they need to ensure resources are deployed effectively. So, Danica, some pressure there from the opposition leader coming through. Maybe this has been discussed in the meeting this morning as well. Sky News has put this to the Premier's office too. No response as of yet. Back to you.